Alright, so let's talk a little controversy in Fortnite this week. So, as you should be aware, the Peacemaker collab came out not too long ago. Of course, I did a full gameplay and review on this, but apparently it's under fire by Epic Games because of a certain emote. So if you weren't aware, we got the skin, of course, the Peacemaker skin with 4 different styles, so nothing too risky here. And then we got his back bling, which is called Eagly. His pickaxe is the Peacemaker's shield. His wrap is the clearly peaceful, and then the emotes are where we're having some issues. So let me type in Peacemaker, and I'll show you what his emotes are. So we got 2 of them. The first one, Peace Approved, and it says Peacemaker's stamp of approval. All he does is take a big stamp and pow! Puts an eagle on there with a thumbs up. Then we got this Peacemaker spray. But lastly, we got this one right here, Peaceful Hips. And as you can see, nothing happens now. I can't get it to play. More importantly, it says this item is temporarily disabled or it is exclusive to another platform. And below that, it says Peaceful Hips is not currently usable. A default emote may be used in its place. What the heck's a default emote? Actually, it wouldn't even let me equip it. I selected it here. I'm pushing X. And then I go back, and it's not there. So they took it out of your locker, essentially. But why? So this was the copyrighted one. Let me just show you my original review. Again, I did this a few days ago when it first came out. Let me show you the part where I show you the Peaceful Hips. I think this one's going to be 300. And then we got Peaceful Hips, which is going to be 400. Okay, that's copyrighted, so I got to be careful. That's pretty neat. And then this one should be copyable. And again, I believe it's copyrighted. Here we go, Peaceful Hips. I don't recognize the song. Oh, jeez. So it's a fairly simple dance. I mean, he does the ravishing Rick Rude hip thrust, and that's it. So he must do this in the show at some point. But I don't know the song. It sounds like it would be from the 80s, but it sounds like it says, Julian, it's a hungry world. Foxy Shazam, oh Lord? It's super copyrighted. That's funny. That's a good question. Oh, man. So as you saw and heard, it is a copyrighted emote. And even during my review, the person I was reviewing it with, his name is Venompool, he said, how is that approved? Now, I thought he was talking about the little hip thrust, and I referred to that as the Ravishing Rick Rude. If you are a WWF fan back in the day, before WWE, Ravishing Rick Rude would come out, try to impress all the ladies. He'd do exactly that dance. He'd put his hands behind his head, and he'd kind of thrust his hips around, and it would make all the girls go crazy. And I think that's what Venompool said, how is that allowed into the game? But little did we know, that's not the controversial part. So it's the start of the dance where he kind of puts one arm up and one arm down, and then he swaps and does the same thing with the other hand and arm. That, I guess, is the controversial thing. Now, I'm a huge history buff. Every single war that we've ever been in the United States, I know everything about it. I read all sorts of biographies. I read all sorts of first-hand experiences. I know everything there is to know about every single war we've ever been in, including the Civil War. So of all that knowledge, including World War II, I did not associate this dance with a certain World War II participant. Now, I gotta be careful what I say because you can't say some things on YouTube about this. But as you should be aware, one of the key participants in World War II was Germany. And there was a certain regime that had a certain logo. And everyone should know what I'm talking about. It was on their flags, it was on their armbands, it was everywhere. It was supposed to be a peace sign, but obviously it's not portrayed like that after World War II because of what went down. So people were saying that the beginning of this dance replicates that particular symbol. And again, I can't say what it is, but Germany, World War II, their primary symbol. And they say he makes that symbol with his hands when he goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Now again, I saw this multiple times and I never thought, well, okay, that reminds me of World War II. I didn't think that even once, not even a subtle hint of that symbolism from World War II and Germany. Not even once. But apparently in the latest episode of Peacemaker, they reference it somewhere. I don't know. I tried to look it up. Everyone says, yeah, the latest episode confirms that dance is reflective of World War II in Germany. But I can't find in particular where they talk about that during the episode, so I'm going to have to watch it and see. But apparently this offended a lot of people, so much so that Fortnite disabled it in the locker. Now there's tons of other controversial things in Fortnite that have not been removed yet. I don't want to bring everything up because I don't want to trigger anyone. But there are multiple things in Fortnite where people have done really bad things and they're still in the game. But this one got removed instantly, and Fortnite actually put a tweet out about it. So this is what it says. We're disabling the Peaceful Hips emote in Fortnite as we inquire into our partner's creative intentions in this collab emote. Assuming it's not coming back, we'll issue refunds in the next few days. Sorry, folks. Okay, so this confuses me a little bit. It kind of sounds like they're going to talk about it first, and if they decide it's going to be gone for good, they're going to issue a refund. And it sounds like they're leaning towards that way, but I don't know what they mean by as we inquire into our partner's creative intentions. So does that mean that the creators of Peacemaker knew that this emote was supposed to represent a certain symbol in Germany, World War II? And if so, how did that pass into Fortnite? I don't know. But like I said, as a huge history buff, I watched this emote multiple times, and not once did I even slightly get a hint that this was Germany World War II related. Now what's also interesting to see is the people on one side of the fence versus the people on the other side. So I just scoured through all the comments on this before I made this video just to see what people were saying. And it's about a 50-50 split. Some people are saying, are you guys stupid? It doesn't represent that. You have to grasp at very thin straws to even remotely see that symbol in this dance. And then there's the other people on the other side of the fence that say, yeah, I see it clear as day. They did this on purpose. They're trying to poison the kids that play Fortnite. This is ridiculous. So I don't know what to believe. Like I said, I didn't see it at all. I just thought it was a harmless dance that they do, what is it, at the beginning of the show? But I guess I shouldn't comment because I haven't seen the show in its entirety yet. So there's also a Donald Duck clip. I think it's Donald Duck. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Donald Duck. Back during World War II, there was an anti-German video put together. I think it was some kind of propaganda video by, I don't know, maybe it's the United States government. I don't know. But it shows Donald Duck pretty much doing this dance. Just the first part, not the hip thrusting, but where you move your arms up and down, up and down, up and down. And he's also got that certain symbol on his arm, and he does a certain salute as well. So that's what people are comparing it to, because if you put those side by side, yeah, it does actually look like he's doing that dance. But the Donald Duck one was specifically relating to World War II in Germany. And this Peacemaker one, I don't know, I just thought he was doing a weird dance move. So on one hand, I guess I can definitely see that comparison. If you play it side by side with the Donald Duck video, yeah, I can see it. But Donald Duck does it like 100 times in a row, whereas John Cena here only did it one hand, and that was it. So I don't know. It sounds like it's going to be removed for good. Remember, we have the other emote still, the Peace Approved. So it's not like it completely ruins the collaboration. But then I guess I saw people saying, well, if they're going to remove this, they may as well remove the entire collab. And I said, now wait a minute. Why would they remove the entire collab? Some people just go to one extreme to another. I don't know. And then I saw people say, well, the creators of Peacemaker are not going to stand for this. If you take one of their things out of Fortnite, they're going to pull the plug on everything, and they're never going to do anything with Fortnite again. So if they delete this entire DC collab, does that mean we're never getting DC collabs again? Because that would be horrible. I honestly think this was just a mistake. But if you stare at something long enough, you can see what your brain wants you to see. But I don't think they put this emote in the game to offend anybody. And they certainly didn't do it on purpose. Maybe they just didn't know it represents that. I still am not convinced it does represent that. I think it's just a coincidence. But who knows? I'm going to go watch all the Peacemaker episodes and see if I can make heads or tails of this. But right now, they have officially removed this from your locker. It is disabled. You cannot equip it. It says you can use a default emote, but like I showed you, if I click it, it makes the equipping noise, but nothing ever happens. You can't actually do it. Because I kind of wanted to see what the default emote would be. But no, I can't even do that. So just a very interesting, controversial issue all around. But like I said, there's other controversial things in Fortnite that have not been removed, despite public backlash on them. And some things, in particular this one collab I can think of, has actually came back since it had been canceled. So I don't know what to think, but right now they've only removed the peaceful hips, and they should be offering you a refund if they decide they're going to remove it permanently. So I guess some of you may be getting some V-Bucks back in the near future, and that's because they're taking this emote out of the game. So now I'm curious, what do my followers think? Did this emote offend you, or was it just a playful dance that's from the collaboration of Peacemaker? We'll see what happens, but that's all the latest I've got. An interesting turn of developments for the Peacemaker collaboration. So there you go. That's all there is to it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A like is always appreciated. And don't forget to use my Support-A-Creator Code, which is tabortime.